Okay, no, señor, ahorita, hermano, señor, before any questions or comments, I promised you that every time, hermano, señor, this is very valuable, ¿verdad? This is a Strong's Concordance. This is an 1890, the first Strong's Concordance that ever came out. Okay, in 1890. What's so important about this Bible or about this tool? Well, this is the only concordance. You're not going to find it anywhere else. Where, hermano señor? I got to be very careful because almost every time I open this Bible, it's so old that it tears, hermano señor. Okay? It's got a special section that even this one don't have. It's called the Comparative Concordance. That's what's so valuable about this one. And what's so valuable about Comparative Concordance is that in 1880, they discovered supposedly older Greek manuscripts. And they were in the hundreds. They weren't in the thousands like the Texas Receptors. And practically, the Texas Receptors had any discrepancies between all the copies, and they were in the thousands. These that they found them, and the Texas Receptors, of course, came from Antioch. Antioch. That's where the Christians were first called Christians. That's where the Texas Receptors came from. Well, in 1880, in Alexandria, Egypt, supposedly older manuscripts were found, Greek, that were way different than the Texas Receptors. In other words, the ones that we use for the King James. So in 1890, they decided, hey, these are older manuscripts, we're going to have to rewrite the Bible. And somebody real smart said, you know what? We're going to, the King James is a deceptive Bible. We got to come up with a new translation that will come out of the Alexandrian text. So they came, oh man, I forgot, I should have brought my American Standard. They came up with the American Standard version in 1890, and I had one too. Just that I didn't bring it, pero como quiera. Well, what's so special about this Strong's Concordance is that it gives you thousands of words that were changed or that differ from well, there's not that many difference from the NIV, the King James, and there's thousands. Look, it gives you a section. Look at the little words. I'm going to leave it up there so you can see it. All these words are changed, different from the King James and the American Standard Version. Or the New Greek Text, the NIV, the NLT, the ESV, all those translations go with the 1880 Greek. And they only found hundreds of them. And they were all different from each other. They all differ. Not like the King James, not like the Texas Receptor, not like the thousands of Texas Receptor copies which have hardly any discrepancies. When they found the Greek, the Alexandrian text, or they call it the Codex, the Sinaiticus Codex. When they found those, and they said that they were like the best, but there were a lot of discrepancies between all the copies. And beside this, they were white when they found them. But somebody smart caught up to it. Now they're brown. Now they look like they're old. But the first copies, they took picture of them, and guess what? They were white. They weren't old like this. And which should be suspective. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people favor the NIV, favor the ESV, favor the NLT, and this Strong's Concordance tell you thousands of places that were changed. from the Texas Receptive and the Greek text. Thousands of places. In other words, the NIV has thousands of different words that the King James don't have. They changed them or took it out. And then it gives you another section called the Nutanda. And here are phrases that were literally taken off. And did you know that the Alexandrian text don't have only Mark 16, only have half of it? So where it says, you shall go to all the world, preaching of the gospel. No, that's not there. It shouldn't be there. If you notice, you open the NIV, and you go to the book of John, and chapter 9, it tells you right there, it don't have verse 4. It goes from 3 to 5. Why? Because they took it out. But the King James, the Texas Receptus has it. You go to 1 John, and chapter 5, they don't have verse 7. And this right here tells you everywhere it don't have all these verses. I'm going to put it back there, you can see. It goes to know that all the verses, all the words that are different. Okay? That's one thing that I told you last week I was going to try to bring so that you can see. I'm going to tell Elias if he wants to put it back there. But please, hermano Señora, please be very, very careful with it. Porque I always do some sort of damage every time I open it, hermano Señor. Pero I wanted the book. You can download a PDF file if you want to, and out of it. Pero I wanted the real book, so I ordered the real book. Señor, I got me a good price on this one. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? You know, that's why I like if y'all get a King James, that's why I like the Nelson. The Nelson. And I went to the Bible book store, and they say they're not gonna make them anymore. So try to get you a Nelson King James. They sell them at the Family Dollar for $10. They're pretty good. The thing is that they have a marking on the thing. Why do I like the Nelson? Is because in the New Testament it gives you a letter 1 or 2 or 3. So if it has that letter, the 1, the 2, or 3, it's telling you that it's different. The NIV has another word other than this one. In other words, that's where it was changed. And it's in the thousands, not in the hundreds. It's in the thousands. A lot of people say, well, there's only 50 places where they differ. Nope. Thousands of places where they differ. And that's why I like the Nelson. And it gives you a different, don't pay attention to that word. Because it gives you a 1. For example, it gives you a 1. And then when you look up the word 1, it has a different word. Don't pay attention to that word. It only means that if it has that letter, that's where you have to look it up in the original text, what it means. Okay? Well, Senor. If it has that letter, don't pay attention to that word they put in there. Or it should say this. Don't pay attention to that. That's where you get your Strongs and you get the real definition. Don't trust man. Trust the original scripture. If you want to go with what the Christians would use back then, you got to go with the Antioch version, and the Antioch version is the Texas Receptus, where we get the King James Bible. Okay? And of course, the King James Bible is the only one you can go back and test for itself. Oh no, brother, there's an NIV Exhaustive Concordance. Yeah, but it uses the Greek text. And you're gonna, well, the King James, the NIV is the most exact Bible. It is. It is the most exact Bible to the Greek text. To the Alexandrian text, the Alexandrian Greek. It is the most exact to the Alexandrian Greek, to the Egyptian Greek. It is. The NIV is the #1 Bible the number one exact Bible that goes back to the Egyptian text. It's exactly, almost exactly. Brother said no. También la ESV is almost as good as the NIV, being precise to true to the Egyptian text. The American Standard Version, of course, uses the Egyptian text, but the good thing about the American Standard Version, it still respects the King James. And it tells you at least what the King James says. So they still had a little fear of God when they made the American Standard Version, which is good. Because even the scholars were not skeptical about, but that's why they put notes down there in the American Standard Version. And they tell you, hey, this word was omitted here, but the textual receptus has this. It tells you, you know? Okay, any questions or comments?